He told me 60 seconds, and then.
Hey, Warrior fans, Russ W. Oker on Go Hills TV, powered by JBS, making your world stronger. Time for our Warrior postgame show tonight. Indian Hills runs their record now to 18-5 on the season with the 80-59 win over Sauk Valley. We'll get some opening thoughts here from Coach Hank Plona. 4-point lead at half. Team came out in the second half and kind of took care of business, but your initial thoughts on the game tonight?
Yeah, I thought just they controlled kind of the style and the tempo in the first half, and I thought we controlled it in the second half. And just their kind of matchup, kind of 3-2 zone that they play. You don't see it a lot, and it is tricky. And sometimes I thought our guys had to, kind of figure out. They got to figure out on their own kind of where they're going to be and where the open spots are going to be. And we made a couple changes, but I thought the guys just started figuring it out as the game went on. So I thought the first half they kind of imposed their will on us. And I thought in the second half we kind of imposed our will on them.
They took, last time we played them, 46 three-pointers. They took 29 tonight. Was that a result of anything different we did defensively to stop them from getting the looks?
I think we're probably a little bit more aware with how many they take, but obviously they still took a lot. I think we wanted to limit number 11 Winston from shooting them, and he got loose a few times. And so like it doesn't really matter to me how many threes they take, but we don't want their best players shooting a lot. And he got loose twice in the first half, and as weird as the game was, if we took those away, which we always think we can take that away. So if you took that away, we would have been up 10 or 11 at the half, and and he probably made a couple more in the second half when they started falling behind and just playing fast. So we kind of focused on taking away the threes from their best player, not necessarily their entire team. And I thought in the second half we did a significantly better job on their inside guys at not letting them go to their strong hand. The big kid really likes to go to his right hand. In the first half he got to it. In the second half he started struggling inside, and Javon did a great job, and Yassine Toomey in the second half did an outstanding job defensively using his length down there. So we were able to take them away from what their strengths are, I thought, and that usually results in us getting the ball and being able to fast break play and go score, and we were able to do that.
We turned it over 17 times, so 12 of those in the first half. So obviously, I'm going to operate under the assumption that was addressed in the locker room.
I remember saying something about that. I noticed that as well. I told the guys at halftime, I said, we're winning because we're out rebounding them by 15 or whatever. And I said, but they're right in the game because we turned the ball over 12 times. I said, that's, what the stat sheet says, that's what it says. And about 8 or 9 of those turnovers were just us out of rhythm. In tennis you'd say it's an unforced error. Like it wasn't, it was their defense slowed us down and made us just kind of hesitate with the ball and got us out of our rhythm, and then we probably made the right play too late, and it's a turnover. Like if Taj catches and shoots a three but holds it for a second, the guy's gonna come block your shot. Like you can't make the right decision a second late in basketball. Like basketball, you have to, whatever that first instinct is, you got to do it. And sometimes, Eddie missed his first 2 shots, and then he didn't shoot when he should, and he threw the ball away. I think Davin had missed 1 or 2, and obviously Davin did a great job playing point guard, and so he's trying to create for others, but he's not getting the help. Like they were when Eddie and Taj were on the wings, they were goading Davin into shooting. So you got to because Eddie and Taj are threes as anybody, and Davin's a good shooter, but kind of like what we were doing, they tried to take away our strength. So. We had to just forget that. I thought Taj came out with confidence in the second half. Javon started having confidence in the second half. I don't know that Enoch really scored a lot, but he was way more confident and aggressive in himself in the second half. Aaron Freeman did a great job on offense, just trusting his instincts and being able to score in a few different ways and create. So I just thought we trusted that first instinct we had right away and played better as the game went on.
So you brought up Aaron Freeman. I'm going to ask Taj this. Aaron had what I thought would be a rim rattler and just clanked it right off the back of the iron. Will he hear about that from you guys?
Yes, he will most definitely hear about that.
Okay, all right.
I forgot about that one, Taj, just because of what Tokes did in the second half. So it's we find a way to miss a lot of 1-foot shots. And Taj missed a dunk at Triton. I don't know if you remember that. We got to. That to me is just a lack of. That's trying to do things a certain way rather than just do the job, and we've got to. And when you play the really good teams, make you pay for those things. So That was on your pass too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cost you an assist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get many of those, So
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you miss it hurt even more.
Yeah.
Well, Taj, you really got it going there in the second half. You ended up with 19 on the night. Talk to me about the progression of the game. Obviously, the first half was a bit of a struggle for us, but what was different in the second half for you?
Just playing with a clear mind and just taking the right shots when it's given to me, and that's really all I was thinking, and just playing within the system. That's really all that was flowing through my mind, taking the right shots when it's given to me at the right time, and not forcing it or like hunting the shot.
So when you get going, guys like you and Eddie and guys that can really get going, what's going on in your mind? Are you thinking you guys are in a lot of trouble, or what's going on up there when you really start hitting your shot?
Just keep shooting. I just want to keep shooting.
Give me the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coach, one of the things that we didn't see tonight at all, we didn't see any pressure on our end as far as three-quarter, full court. Sometimes I feel like we've done that to get the energy up. Was that ever a possibility tonight, or was there just a team we didn't think we could have success with there?
Everything's a possibility. I honestly, in these last 4 games since we lost, we've really done it a little bit less, and we've really just focused on really pressuring in the half court, man to man, and we're a really good half court defensive team. You try to do that when you think you need to create energy. I didn't think that was our issue tonight. I thought the guys were playing very hard, and we were just hesitating. I didn't think it was a lack of energy. I thought it was maybe just their defense slowed us down. So, they play so fast and they shoot so quick. Honestly, if you do that, you're going to force a really quick shot. But when we were going to lead the whole game, so I didn't really want to open the floor up and allow them to make maybe, if they were going to fire 3 really quick threes, those things go in, all of a sudden you have a problem. So, I thought our defense was solid most of the game. We went probably the last 5 or 6 minutes, we played zone. They've struggled a little bit versus zone all year, so we did that at their place, and it helped us. We had that ready to go tonight. But, it's just, I don't know, you just kind of go with the flow of the game, and, and the last thing we want to do is let them have space and be comfortable. We're bigger than them, we're quicker than them. And honestly, they're playing basically 4 guards and the big kid. So, later in the season, it gets hard to pressure good basketball teams later in the year. Like team presses us, I'm happy. They want to extend it and let us attack, that's fine. Like later in the year, it gets hard to, because teams are, as they figure it out, they know what they're doing. So we'll continue to mix up defenses and do different things, but there was never really a point in the game where I thought our defense was poor and we needed to make a change, and extend out.
Javon Hadley, another solid night, just a couple of rebounds away from a double-double, 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. That's a pretty good line.
Seems to be about what he's doing these days, huh? I mean, he's starting to get real comfortable out there, and he's just a talented player that I think we all believed all year. Once he kind of got his confidence and swagger to where it needed to be, he can do it all. So, he's a very, very team-oriented guy, sometimes too much. Sometimes we're like, hey, man, just catch and, rip and attack. And he's obviously gained confidence doing that. And sometimes once you realize that you're having success at something, you go back to it. So he's a guy we feel very comfortable with the ball in his hands, and certainly probably has been kind of our most consistent, solid guy that we lean on here these last couple weeks.
Taj, I had Leroy on the coaches show last night.
I can only imagine how that was.
It was fantastic.
Did you learn anything?
I did. I learned that Lamborghini makes a truck. I did not know that Lamborghini made a truck, but they did.
I just a heads up on Leroy.
Yeah.
They might or they might not make a truck. So
All right.
just because Leroy says they make a truck, you might want to verify that.
Taj says they do too.
Yeah, they got a truck there. Yeah,
Apparently one
You
of
been
the
in one before?
one of the Mello brothers.
You been in
says
one
it.
before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been in one?
Yeah, I've been in one.
Moses Brown has one?
Wow.
No, there
All
we
right.
go.
So anyway, we talked about the team. It appears, we talked about guys like Javon really hitting his rhythm, and some, other guys starting to play very, very well. It looks like maybe you guys are getting more and more comfortable with each other. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, that's most definitely something that's happened over the past few weeks, and we just had a mindset as a team, just us against the world, and it's something that's been helping us in practice, games, and just everything, and we just keep with that mindset every day.
All right, we're going to go over to Illinois on Saturday, which, by the way, that is a 3 o'clock start. We
Yep.
thought it was a 7 o'clock. That's actually going to be a 3 o'clock game over there in Freeport against Highland. that's one of those.
You guys going to make it?
That's the plan. I think we'll be on.
Didn't have lunch plans anywhere in Centerville? All right.
Gonna have to cancel them. Yeah, we'll probably ride the bus now that it's a 3:00 game. But obviously, that's a team.
We're going the day before. So.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
I can't do that. We'll see you over there. But they got us earlier in the year, and when you look at it on paper, obviously, it's a game that we would be favored in. Now we got to go over there and try to get some revenge. What did they do to us here that concerns you? What are we trying to fix?
I don't know. I guess I kind of just told the guys. I don't think. I mean, we're not going to go back and watch that film. I think we're a much different team now than we were 2 months ago. They beat us 64-53, but who remembers? So obviously it was way more of an offensive problem than a defensive problem, and we have made some substantial changes on how we play in the half court and some different things that we do. So I don't think that we were finding ourselves and. And that game is part of the reason why we have played a slightly different style on offense. So we found some things that are working for us. Obviously, they have two very good players in Stephon Gabriel and Carlos Ramsey. Both mid-major or better Division I caliber players. So they have a big 7'2" kid inside that causes some real problems defensively. At the rim. So, they have other kids too. They had a kid make 5 threes for Southeastern last night, number 20, I don't know his name. But they're a talented team, but again, I think that, we've had some games, and that's certainly one of them, where we really had to learn about ourselves, what we need to do. And I'm not trying to discredit anything that they do. I don't think any December 4th game in junior college with brand new teams, you're not quite at the point where it's a chess match yet. And so that game, because they're a very, very good basketball team, and they exposed us. They convinced us that we need to do some things differently. And we've done some things differently in the last few months. So if we watch that game right now, there's a lot of different things. We're playing a different way. So I kind of feel like we've made the adjustments from that first game. So I think we have to continue kind of in this last 2-week stretch we've been on. We've kind of really been focused on just being the best at how we do things. Those two players concern me for sure. Stephon Gabriel, Division I transfer. He was at Hutchinson Community College last year. He had about 32 points and 18 rebounds in a game in the national tournament versus the number 1 team in the country. So he concerns me. He's a very good player. Carlos Ramsey's a Division I player. Had 25 last night at Southeastern. He's very talented too. So we didn't lose because those guys got loose. We focused on them, and you allow 64 points when your offense is bad. That's not terrible. But we need to really watch the film and make sure we can't just plow it into that guy that's 7'2", 7'3" at the rim. Early on in the season, we did that versus NEO and failed. We did that versus Highland and failed. We've made some changes, in those regards to get some better ball movement and space the floor. So hopefully our offense and the changes we've made, in part from that game, help us and give us a better shot here on Saturday.
Davin Ziegler got a start tonight. Got 9 for you. Your thoughts on his performance?
I think Davin's done great. He's been banged up in his knee and his ankle and everything else. More than anything, he limps around here every day. So, he plays so hard. And I think Davin had a great year for us. I think he's continuing to get better and kind of find his role and find his spot and get comfortable on the floor. And I thought Davin was very, very solid for us tonight.
All right, the Warriors win at 80-59. Give us a quick update for the folks here on Isaiah Marin, and any idea when we might get him back?
Yeah, I mean he's feeling better. He's walking around. I think jogging's probably the next step. I mean, just had a sprained ankle, and when you sprain your ankle, there's something in there with the ligaments that get sprained. And I mean, the thing a week after he did it was still very swollen and purple.
It's his first time ever twisted his
Yeah, he's never had that hurt, and it was a significant one. So he's getting back. There's no way on Saturday. Obviously, who knows next week? But we want him to. He works hard. He's very consistent every single day. So, obviously, we want Isaiah for the stretch run here, and we're not about to play him if he's not 100%. But he's working hard every single day, and obviously, he's an extremely important part of our team. We wouldn't be here where we're at without him. I'd guess 1 to 2 more weeks, somewhere in there. But we'll kind of take it day by day and see how he is.
All right, Warriors win at 80-59. Next up on Saturday against Highland in Freeport, Illinois. The next Wednesday back home here at the Hellier Center against Marshalltown. And then a week from Saturday against Southeastern over in Burlington.
Russ, I think if Taj is in a Lamborghini truck again, he needs to send you and me a picture.
I would hope so, or pick me up, man.
We can put a video on Go Hills TV.
Yeah.
Post a picture that caption's going to say, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. All right. This guy had a whole bunch of yes, sirs tonight. Throws in 19 for the Warriors in the win. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching here on Go Hills TV. We're powered by JBS.
Go Warriors!